I'm going to read from an article that appeared on the BBC on the 9th of October. And it was relating to a protest, an alleged protest that happened outside Naomi Long's house. And this is how the BBC reported it, and this is what the local politicians said about this event. And what I'm going to do at the end of this, I'm going to show you a video of exactly what was going on outside Naomi Long's house, allegedly, and who was there. So let's look at what the BBC said first. Headline: Mob protests outside home of Justice Minister Naomi Long. Now, we could say a lot about Naomi Long and the rhetoric she's used in the past few weeks and months about people who are legally and legitimately protesting about the issues with migration, the issues with community cohesion, the issues with housing, the issues with attacks on women. And as everybody who watches my channel will know, I've been involved in a long-running community-based protest outside a migrant hotel. We never target the people that are in the hotel. It's actually women in the hotel. Our anger and our rage is fairly and squarely put at the feet of politicians, but again, totally legally and totally legitimately. But this is what the BBC said. Mob protests outside home of Justice Minister Naomi Long. And then it goes on to say, Northern Ireland's Justice Minister Naomi Long has said a line was crossed after a mob turned up at her home on Wednesday evening. What line? One, it wasn't a mob, and you'll see that when you see the video. But what line's been crossed? Has any of the people that turned up at that house broken any laws? I'd love Naomi to explain exactly what laws are broken if they had. Then it goes to say, her husband, Belfast Alliance councillor Michael Long, who used to be my dentist, but that's another story, said about 40 people, some wearing masks, turned up at our house to protest. It's believed the protests related to the housing of sex offenders in residential areas. Now, to me, that's a totally legitimate reason to protest. Now, the location of the protest, that's up to the people that are doing the protest. I wasn't there. In a social media post, Mrs. Long said it's bullying and intimidation, it's threatening, and it's wholly unacceptable. And again, this little video clip I'm going to show you, and I'm deliberately blurring out the images. I'm blurring out anything that would give away where Naomi Long's house is, and I'm also blurring out the faces of the people involved and the police officers involved when I play the video. But you'll get the vibe from it. I'm only playing a 3-minute clip out of a 30-minute video that I've watched. It goes on. The police attended the incident and said they would now review footage to consider if any potential offences have been committed. Well, I've looked at the footage, and I would be absolutely amazed if there's been any offences committed. But again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police officer, but I think what this feeds into is the reality that people in our communities do not feel like they have a voice. And the only way, the last place of refuge for the people in our communities is actually trying to get the attention of local politicians by going to their houses. Now, again, I've watched all the footage. There was absolutely no violence. There was no violence against the police. It was good-natured. It was people were laughing. They were joking. There was nothing sinister. There was no raised voices as far as I could hear. It was very, very lighthearted. And again, the people that were there, and you'll see from the video, the people that were there, a lot of them were middle-aged women. Now, actually middle-aged women can be quite scary, but that's another story. But the reality is that most of the people there were women. That's a fact. And women who are concerned about sex offenders being housed in residential areas. So we go on. In addition to her role as Stormont's Justice Minister, Mrs. Long is also the leader of the Alliance Party. She said she was open to debating issues, but added, turning up as a mob, some in masks at my home just isn't on. Now, I've seen the footage, and I've seen obviously the unblurred footage, and I didn't see anyone in a mask. Some people had hoodies on, but it's night. I mean, people can wear hoodies at night because it's quite cold. Again, maybe I've missed something. Her post said, It isn't engagement and it isn't legitimate protest to turn up at my home, disrupt my neighbours, my family, and place pressure on the police. Well, I'm sure the people that were standing outside Naomi's house didn't phone the police. I think there's only one person that's phoned the police. And if there was no threat and there was no menace, you know, listen, it isn't nice when people come to your house. That's a fact. But nobody went to her house. There was a protest on the street, from what I could see. And from what I could gather, it was on the opposite side of the road, and it wasn't noisy. It was just people turned up because they had certain grievances and they had things that they wanted to address. And it's interesting because I know for a fact on Twitter, if you say anything that's negative about the Alliance Party or Naomi Long, they'll block you. It's as simple as that. You'll be blocked because they blocked me before, way back in 2018, 19, when there was that whole furore over the leaflets that were getting posted around certain areas. Anyway, the Alliance Party deputy leader, Ewan Tennyson, said the Longs would not be intimidated by the mob, but they shouldn't have to put up with it. He told the Nolan show that it was completely unacceptable and hugely distressing. At the heart of this, politicians are humans too, and any of us would be shaken by a mob turning up outside our home. Again, the language here is completely unhelpful. I know the people on that, that went to that demonstration, protest, whatever you want to call it. Those people, some of them are ex-soldiers, some of them are pensioners, all of them are good people because I know them. And from what I could see, there was absolutely no threat whatsoever to Naomi Long. And if there had been, I'm sure the police would have acted massively by now. At the heart of this, politicians are humans too. I agree with that. And any of us would be shaken by a mob turning up outside our home. The truth of the matter is, if politicians are not accessible and are not making themselves accessible to certain sections of the community, and that's what's happening, what people like Naomi Long, people in the UUP, people in the SDLP, and now it seems even people in the DUP, are talking about constituents in Bangor, particularly, because obviously this is where this happened, I think, and they're not engaging with them. Instead, it's just megaphone diplomacy. It's like what happened in Ballymena. Everybody was a racist thug, and now it's a mob. Well, to me, the reality is people have a right to want to express their views to the local politicians, and if the local politicians aren't listening to what they say, what other options do they have? This is non-violent protest. This is peaceful, and as far as I can see, totally legal and totally lawful. So my issue with all this is, and this is where it gets sinister, Naomi Long's the Justice Minister. Now, again, whether this is genuine or not, but I've been told through unofficial channels that the Justice Ministry are taking a very great deal of interest in the anti-migrant protests and the people who are involved in the protests. And I'm not going to go into any detail, but my experience of interactions with the police would suggest that that's the case. I have never, in all the time I've lived in Northern Ireland, I've never had as much interaction with the police as I have done in the last few months. And I haven't committed any offences, I haven't committed any crimes, but they seem very, very interested in talking to us and bumping into us at various locations. And I find that sinister and I find it worrying. And I'm not going to say any more than that because I'm toying with the idea of doing a video on what the police have been up to. But again, obviously knowing how vindictive the state can be, I'm deciding on whether it's worth doing the video or not. But anyway, putting all that to one side, watch the video. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think there was anything in this video that would suggest that there was any intimidation or anything sinister going on, well, obviously let me know in the comments. Again, it is going to be heavily blurred, but you can still make out basically what was going on. You can hear the conversation. You can see the spirit in which the protest took place. So let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Watch the video, and I'll see you all again soon.
Right, full cat's on.
No. Seen the purple one in there?
I do. See if you can find my ball.
Mine too.
I didn't.
Do you mind me asking what we're all here for?
Looking for a dog in a crack of ball.
Is that right?
Your man area trip. It's an area trip.
No, I
I'm
honestly
just here
don't
to
know.
engage with you and ask what's going
Yeah.
on, you know.
Nothing going on, just stopping here.
Nothing? Okay. No form of protest, etc.
Why would we be protesting?
I'm just wondering, there was a report of a gather of people and I
You're
just
not
came...
meant to tell us here recording.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, you are. Protocol, you are.
But I'm here to engage with you.
Well, I'm engaged with
So,
you. I'm only asking you, are you not meant to tell us that they're recording?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Yeah, we
but-
are, necessarily.
Okay. What do you call it? I'm just asking what
Well, I
we're
was
doing.
just asking you a plain question.
Are we protesting?
No, why would we we're done talking?
Okay, dead on. Anybody else? No, dead on. Okay.
Here comes back up.
Where?
Oh, there's somebody out.
Oh.
It's a fella like.
Crazy.
There's another one coming.
T. I'm going to call you T so I don't say anything. That's what everybody calls me. Everybody called me. Everybody called me dickhead. I laughed her. I laughed her.
As well.
You should
Call me whatever you want.
Does anybody know why we are actually here? I have no idea.
I had no idea.
I
I
was
just followed everybody.
I was just told we're to meet here.
Just don't speak to me. You don't have to.
Hello, love. I didn't even see you there.
Sniping in the background.
You see me making a legion of myself. I fell off the curb.
There's more.
Is there more?
More.
Can they not do anything without having two or three of them? Like?
No, they have to be more prominent on the thing.
Aye, by three. Exactly. That's ridiculous.
I heard Kelly was here.
But nobody's doing anything wrong.
No, just stand talking.
Standing having a yarn.
Where's Halloween collection for the kids?
Never tried. Don't think I'm going to have to laugh. That's what I said. Everyone should have fucking smoked up the street. That would have been a brilliant. Where did the dog go?
Is anybody going to go and speak to them?
Nope.
Maybe the cat took it.
We're a dog walking group. That's why we're not going to walk.
That will off the dogs.
My dog massive, is he?
But I don't think,
I can't control my dog.
You know,
he's
no matter what we're doing here, I don't think anybody's here to cause trouble.
No.
So,
not correct.
you know. No.